human.
And boom!
Common man, no show prep, no solid plan. Spins a yarn, begins a tale. The esoteric approach won't fail. Tune in, it's time for Common Man. Common man, charms your housewives like no one can. What'd you shoot? Where'd we play? Non-stop nonsense on deck today. Tune in, it's time for Common Man.
I'm a fraud.
Yes.
Why should anybody aspire to be a common man, an average man? Do you realize what it means to be average? That means you're the best of the lousiest, and the lousiest of the best. Now, if we demand more and more for producing less and less, while the have-not nations encourage and inspire and indeed require hard work and maximum effort, if we deify the common men while they encourage and reward the uncommon ones, well, the end result of such a lopsided race as that is too obvious to require elaboration.
I mean, it's like, hello?
Chicago's a tough guy town.
Yeah, kid.
That.
You just have to draw your own conclusions, people.
Yeah, Rosie.
This is not Detroit, man. This is the Super Bowl.
Very funny. Very funny.
Tampa Bay.
You find this funny, Mr. Grove? You're smiling. Do you find this humorous? No, they're not. Do you find this humorous, Mr. Grove? You're laughing and smiling. I'm just wondering if you do. You didn't answer my question, Mr. Grove. Do you find this humorous?
No, I find it keeping it 4 years.
At least you're not smiling and laughing now. Oh, I guess you're back at it again now.
Do you believe in miracles? Yes! Yes, I do!
We're happy for you.
I can't take this anymore.
So what? You know? You carry. If not, hey, I look at bad blood sometimes as motivation. So, you know, those are things that are out of my control.
Say.
A whole lot of character. I just want to say, you doubted us, but now we're here.
Right back at you. Right back at you. He has no chance.
Sorry, KFAN.
He's the clown from Brown. He's the fourth in the north. This is the common man, Dan Cole.
Hey, the run begins in 5, actually. 3 of it sounds like more than 4. It's so cold out. How cold is it? What's the worst job to have for outdoors? I would say right now, I started thinking about all the different jobs to have today. Flower delivery guy would be just awful. Well, because think about it. You got to get in and out of the truck, knock on doors, right? A lot of people aren't home. And then here's what I've learned. Think about this, Timmy. Let's say I were to deliver flowers to your house. Is anybody at your house? Can't leave the flowers outside because they'll die. No! So then you got to go and try a neighbor. Then you knock on the neighbor's door. Hey, would you, and if there's nobody, let's say you finally find someone and you say, hey, would you mind keeping these flowers till Tenna B gets home? And what if they say, nah, I'd really rather not, and they close the door on you? And then you're getting in and out. And what's the wind chill right now? Is it 25 below, 30 below zero? I mean, how about being...
Wind chill is minus 21 right now.
Of course, pizza delivery guy was going to say, but at least with pizza delivery, they have that little... it's like a... it's the opposite of a cooler. You know, it's like, you know what I'm saying? So it kind of keeps...
Insulated.
And insulated, yes, thank you. So it keeps it insulated, but...
It's like a pizza mitten.
It's like a pizza mitten is what it is. So, yeah, I mean...
And at least that's a job where even though you are going to a door, you're carrying something warm to help you keep you heated as you're going there.
There you go. There you go. And if you could probably take a piece of pizza out, eat it, and then if you arrange the other remaining pieces just right, it would still look like a full pizza. But
I always love that one.
There. Oh God, this is just, and I'm not going to dwell on we're not going to do 3 hours of weather. We'll save that for 3 to 6:30. He's fascinated by weather, but this does make you wonder, why do I stay here? I texted my brother who lived in Palm Springs for 6-7 years. And he moved back because he did say, there's 4 months, 5 months out of the year where it's 100 degrees every single day. And after a while, that gets a little old, right? Then, of course, he said, well, my boys never come out to see me, so if I come home, I'll get to see them more often. He says he sees them less in Minnesota than he did in Palm Springs. Because, they're all adults. They've got lives, kids, they got things going. You know how that works. But I texted him, he said, don't get me started. He goes, right now I'd be out having my first cup of coffee next to the swimming pool. So I was back out. So, yeah, I don't, but, we've actually been pretty fortunate this year, I think. Don't you? I mean,
it hasn't been too bad, yeah.
No, we've had 1 or 2 short stretches of really cold weather. Had a couple of snowstorms, but nothing real bad. And, to me, I think in 126 days, the days start getting shorter. So, you got, you know what? I know, I'm King Richard.
That means they're getting longer right now.
They are getting longer now. You can go to the positrometer, but in 126 days, the days are going to be getting shorter again. But anyway. So if the Vikings were in the NFC Championship game, where do you think Friday Football Feast, which Buffalo Wild Wings would we be at this week, I wonder?
It seems like Monticello's always a raucous one.
Okay.
But maybe they'd want it closer to it, maybe like a Maplewood.
Yeah. Think of how much fun that would be. Didn't work out that way for us. I watched again. The only thing I really like watching is pro football. That's all I watch on TV is pro football. I'll watch occasionally a little basketball, but very rarely. I'll watch an episode of the Rockford Files. I did that for 2 years in a row. I've seen every Rockford File that I just don't need to see them anymore. But I watched all the games, and I'll tell you what tend to be. There was some really good action again this weekend. Game 1, you'll have to remind me, that was Denver against Buffalo.
Great game.
Yeah, it was a really good game. I think you have a soft spot for Josh Allen. I think a lot of people do. I think when you watch players in sports your whole life, just sports, and they never get to the place they want to go, you always sometimes get a soft spot in one from.
You're going to root for him, yeah.
Yeah. He shouldered all. Did you see his post-game press conference? He was blubbering. He was tearing up. He shouldered all the blame, as a good leader does, but it wasn't all his fault. Matter of fact, I think ownership thinks it's the coach's fault because they fired him today, right? McDermott out. Do you think that John Harbaugh wishes he'd waited now another couple of days? Because New York's a great.
Has he officially signed?
Well, I don't know.
Did he do that over the weekend?
I don't know. Because that's a hell of a place to coach, New York, right? I mean, it's the city that never sleeps. It's the Big Apple. It is a great franchise. I mean, it's historic. It hasn't been lately. It hasn't been real good. That's why they're getting a new coach. But and Jackson Dart looks like a nice prospect. Looks like he's could be a good quarterback. I mean, you got Josh Allen sitting over there. But again, how good is Josh Allen? His record in postseason play isn't the best in the world, right? He just can't get to the big game. And it's not all on him. I'm not saying it's all on him. But that was definitely a. And then now Denver loses their quarterback.
Yeah.
On a play in which all he was doing is at the end of the game, he's just going to he's going to basically kneel down. He's moving he took like a step to his left or right, whatever it was, to set it for the field goal kicker, got tackled. And he broke his ankle. You didn't think he did because he played. He threw a pass after that or whatever. I don't remember what he did. But he's out. And Stiddy's taken over. Stidman will be in there. And, stranger things have happened. But I kind of think, I can't remember who they're playing. Denver's playing who?
New England.
New England. I think New England's advancing. Let me guess. I know you were I think you were one of those guys. If you weren't, I'll just address the other people. They just loved watching Tom Brady and Bill Belichick dominate because they just love excellence. Are we ready for, I just love when Vrabel and Drake May just keep winning big game after big game. Are people ready for that again now? I finally thought maybe we wouldn't have to deal with New England for a while anymore. And now it looks like they're back. And they're going to be it's possible the Vrabel May thing could be every bit as successful as, that's a long way to go. Trust me, I get it. But that's a pretty good combination, right?
I don't like either team. I don't want to cheer for either of them. So that makes it challenging.
Yeah.
I guess ultimately, for the sake of having a better big game, probably Drake May there instead of Jarrett Stidham.
Yeah, yeah.
But whoever comes out in the NFC, that's going to be my rooting interest.
Yeah. Well, and the one coach we all love to loathe is Peyton, is Sean Payton, right? Because of Bountygate, and then remember when the best was when he was taunting Viking fans with the skull chain during the Minneapolis Miracle. But I wanted him to lose so bad. And I don't have anything against Denver. I like the Bo Nix kid. I like that.
It's all Sean Payton.
Yeah. It's all Payton. And you know when they interview one coach going into halftime and interview the other coach coming out? So they interviewed him after. He goes, what can you do in the second half to do blah, blah, blah? And then he goes, having a bye doesn't matter in the first half of a game, but it does in the second. And I was thinking, I hope they just collapse in the second half. And you know what? They won in overtime, so you can say, if you want, that because they had a bye, that's why they outlasted Buffalo. I don't think that had anything to do with that. I so badly wanted him to lose. That's it's those little things, it's part of my pet peeves where whether it's travel or elevation or one day, you played on a Saturday and the next team, you played Saturday in the divisional round and the other team played Sunday, so you got one more day on them. It doesn't make a difference. I don't think it's enough to change the outcome of the game. Matter of fact, I wish somebody would do the research. How many times has a Saturday team played a Sunday team the following week? Does the Saturday team always win? I would bet it's just whoever's the better team generally wins. But I just wanted him to lose so bad. He was so cocky about that.
You've changed my mind. I said I had no rooting interest. Now I'm cheering for the Patriots because I hate Sean Payton.
Yeah, I do too. And I do like the Drake May story. And I know that kind of digs at Viking fans a little bit. Matter of fact, a lot of the performances this weekend by quarterbacks, I think, have Viking fans a little down in the mouth. But we'll get to all the football stuff. I got other things to get to as well here on what we affectionately call DeGrom. 10B has a keyword as we try to put $1,000 in your hand.
Yeah, the fan wants to give you a shot to win bonus bucks with our national cash contest. Enter the keyword money at KFAN.com now for a shot of winning. That keyword is money. Enter now at KFAN.com. We all had that one teacher who believed in us. Show your gratitude with Thank a Teacher, powered by Donors Choose. Nominate a public school teacher to win $5,000 for their classroom. This week's winner is Alexis Hallman, a special education teacher at Woodland Elementary School. Nominate a teacher to thank today at iHeartRadio.com/teachers.
I just ducked back into the room after going out to get a cup of coffee. I had a pleasant exchange with the purveyor of positivity, voice of the Vikes, box the box, host of the Paul Allen Project. When I did, I heard you doing the vibe, and I'm just glad I didn't miss a Joe Bonamassa vibe. Matter of fact, you need to tell me ahead of time. Even if I have to go to the bathroom, I can't leave because I got to be able to Joe Bonamassa.
I always love that.
Peek at the Purple, brought to you by our friends at Affordable Electric. Regardless, like right now, a lot of people are using space heaters, but they can be. Make sure you're wired for that, right? Safety comes first, and let Affordable Electric do a safety check for you. Whatever your electrical needs are, remember affordable-electric.com. Affordable-electric. And remember, affordable electric is shockingly affordable. Someone says, as you're talking about working in cold weather, I'm driving a water truck filling up airplanes, water dripping on me the whole time. What an awful. I mean, it probably pays well. But yeah, it's any job where you're getting soaking wet right now is not.
No, yeah, not going to work.
I just noticed this. I didn't even know what I was going to do for Peek at the Purple. But you know me. I really don't like blowing my own horn, but I don't want somebody else's lips on my horn, so I will. And guess what we're going to talk about here? The quarterback situation in Minnesota. Michael Rand, who writes Fish Wrap Factory West Side, always does a piece called Rand Ball. He comes up with a lot of good subject matter, a lot of good topics, has a keen sense of what the fingers on the pulse, blah, blah, blah. He does a really good job. He writes today, remember when we thought the Vikings had a good quarterback plan? This isn't so much about revisionist history as it is about acknowledging how quickly things can change. And he says, some fierce revisionist history has invaded a Vikings fan base that largely hopes for the best, but secretly, sometimes openly, expects the worst. The revisionist take, the Vikings should have signed Sam Darnold to an extension after his Pro Bowl season instead of handing the keys to J.J. McCarthy. Had they done that, it would be Minnesota, not Seattle, Darnold's new team preparing for the NFC title game. The truth? Almost everyone was on board with the Vikings' logic in the moment. No, I was not. I guess he said almost, and I guess I'm a part of that, almost that not. I was never on board with handing the keys to McCarthy. I said it immediately. They should have signed Sam Darnold to a 3-year contract extension. Forget even the transition or whatever. You know, you can tag a guy. What are the two? There's the transition, and then there's another one. Franchise. I guess that would have been my second choice. I was 100. Every team searches forever for a franchise quarterback. Every team does it. Every team is looking for a franchise quarterback. Then you have a guy who guides you to 14 wins. I'll say it again. Pat Mahomes is not available. Josh Allen's not available, though maybe he should be. Joe Burrow's not available. Caleb Williams isn't available. The best quarterbacks in pro football are not available. They should have signed Sam Darnold. I don't care what you think about, JJ9, he's got his alter ego, and he's only lost one game in his entire career starting at quarterback. He's 22 years old, coming off major knee surgery. I'm sorry, man. And there were those.
And Sam Darnold is 28 years old.
Correct.
Like, he still has a lot of good years. You know, it's not like some aging veteran that you're just trying to squeeze out another year or two out of. You could technically have him for the next decade.
That's it. And he, right now, he's as big a bargain as there is in the National Football League. Now, I get it. 20 turnovers. Okay. Mahomes ain't available. Sorry. Matty Stafford ain't available. And Matty Stafford's 37, and Matty Stafford has a tendency to turn the ball over, too. They all do. They all have trouble. Would you rather have C.J. Stroud? I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And it's not as though that you would say, well, then we wasted a draft pick on McCarthy. No, you can. If Darnold fails miserably, you just tell McCarthy, we're staying here, and you've got plenty of time. I don't understand why people. But anyway, yeah, it's and again, let me say this. I know we haven't. I've not given up on McCarthy. I say, yeah, you give him a shot next year, right? You got to. I mean, you don't have to, but I think it's the most prudent thing to do. You did invest a draft pick in him, a lot of time with him.
Got to see what you got.
Got to see what you got, and he has shown flashes of potential, but yeah, it's not revisionist history for me. That's the direction I would have. And then after that went by the wayside. I remember I was beating the drum to sign Aaron Rodgers. That might have even been as good, just because, like you say, there you're only committed to him probably for a year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And then, if you're worried about hurting the feelings and upsetting a 9 because now you're not giving him the keys to the franchise and he's going to be upset about it. I want to play right now. Oh, okay. You haven't proven anything. And we make the decisions here, not you. We quoted the Carmen Policy's kid, Ed Policy for Green Bay, said, I learned from my dad right away. You do whatever you think is right for the franchise. You do not. You absolutely, positively do not let fans or media influence your decisions. You have to, and if you're wrong, well, then you get fired. You get fired. Your shelf life has expired. But if not, you just got to go with whatever you feel is right. I think Caleb Williams is going to be the best quarterback in pro football if he's not already.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, at this very second as we speak, it probably still is Mahomes, right? Okay, yeah. How long has Mahomes been in the league now? 10?
Sure.
So, he could have another 10 left. You like Williams? I know, and again.
It's hard not to. I mean, it comes up with miraculous play after miraculous play. I don't know how you can't start becoming a believer at this point.
He's got a howitzer hanging from his right shoulder. He's as good a running quarterback as there is in the league, right? He's so dangerous. Matter of fact, the thing with Ben Johnson, both him and Campbell, they believe in that going for it on fourth down all the time. And I like the fourth downs. They were 1 for 4 in fourth downs, and they could have kicked 2 field goals, which means instead of having to get that tutty to tie at the end, a field goal would have won the game from had they opted to go for field goals and had Santos made them.
Mm-hmm.
I think and for me, it's a lot of it's just the creativity of the going. The last one they tried, 4th and goal from like the 4. He empty backfield, drop back to pass, tried to throw a bullet to a guy and it got knocked away or dropped. He wasn't on target or whatever. Gosh, I mean, again, I'm not a play caller. Look at Ben Johnson's brilliant. He's considered one of the best play callers and offensive minds in the league. It's like, well, when you got a guy that can run, I'd still roll him out. Give yourself 2 options here. If nobody's open, maybe you can try to run for it. I didn't understand that play call, but he can run, he can throw. That play he made at the end of the game, I know I got pushback. Of course, there's always negatives out there when I talked about the throw, and someone said it was just bad defense. Well, yeah, you could say it was bad defense on that, that touchdown that tied the game at the end. But it's just that throw, backpedaling, it traveled 51 yards in the air, and it was perfect. Not every kid can make that throw.
I don't know if it was bad defense. It might have been a little bit of a push off.
Yeah, it might have been a push off. Yeah. So, but that throw was just, and that was just
unruly.
Yeah.
You're watching it live, and obviously we can't see the end zone on the view we're looking at. You're thinking, season's over. They've got 0 chance. Yeah. Nobody would have given a chance of a completion there.
I didn't see the after the game news conference by Johnson, but I saw where in a recap story of the game, I saw where someone said he did consider going for 2 after getting it to 17-16. And Deuce and I looked at each other.
I think they should have.
Deuce and I said, go for it. Win it. And I know that's dangerous, especially when you've had a team that's gone 1 for 4 on fourth downs. Because the Rams defense...
Which was his argument.
Right. Is that what he said?
Yeah, because they'd gotten stuck on some of the short yardage stuff.
Yeah. Then try a different short yardage play. Do something different. Don't be afraid to pull one. Because we've seen Ben Johnson with Detroit for that couple of years. They would come up with some of the most creative short yardage plays on fourth down that were just... And I know it's dangerous. You don't have as much field to work with. I get all of that. But
to me, it's just when you pull off a miracle play like that, the psychology and the mindset of both the offense and the defense at that very moment are in right. The offense is thinking, we're a team of destiny.
Yep.
And the defense is going, how did we just blow that? We're about to lose this game. So it's like once you decide to kick the extra point and you give them a chance to reset mentally, and now it's like, all right, we're playing on an even playing field again. But I just psychologically, you got to go there because you have the mental edge at that moment.
I couldn't agree with you more. And I realized they ended up getting the ball back after stopping the Rams. And I know Caleb threw the pick. I kind of agree with Collinsworth a little bit that I think it seems like DJ Moore just wasn't even... I don't think he thought the pass was going to be intended for him. And he let that guy make a diving reception. I just think...
Great catch, by the way.
Yeah, it was great. I think a little bit of that was on the receiver. But nevertheless, I know there are those that... Well, we'll talk more about... I love columns that have... is it an overreaction or underreaction? There's a couple of things that happened over the weekend I think we should talk about there. Peek at the Purple brought to you by our friends at Affordable Electric. For all of your electrical needs, affordable-electric.com. Remember, they're shockingly affordable.
Bucks is back on KFAN.
Bonus
We have 9 chances for you to win $1,000 every weekday. That's every hour from 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. To enter the keywords and learn more, head to KFAN.com.
9 to 5. I knew I would get pushback on the Darnold stuff. And here's what I really think, and it's probably not every person that texts or everybody who feels this way, but you just can't admit that the Vikings made they made a mistake at the quarterback situation. Because if you lead yourself to believe that Darnold was the guy, they should have kept Darnold and not worried about McCarthy, then you're admitting that the Vikings made a mistake and that they could be in a bit of a struggle for the next. I mean, if McCarthy ends up never working out, there's half a decade gone. Now, he still could. He could end up being a brilliant quarterback. He could end up being somewhere between, I don't know if I like, who do you like better? Brady, Peyton Manning, or J.J. McCarthy? It could end up, it could come to that. I mean, I got a couple of these text messages on the Bradshaw and Bryant KFAN text line. This one says, do you remember Darnold's last 2 games as a Viking? Yeah, I do. If for every quarterback that has a bad game, especially in a big situation where then you would never have a quarterback. You would change all the time. You ever watch Rodgers and some of his NFC Championship game performances? They were brutal. I still don't think he wasn't a good quarterback. How about Brett Favre when he threw across his body in the NFC Championship game? Still don't like Brett Favre? Helped you go to 12-4? How do people are that because you were so bothered? And let's face it, the Detroit game, he was awful. The Rams game was on the offensive line. It just was. You could go watch the game again. Matter of fact, the head coach of the team didn't even wait till the day after the game news conference or the season-ending news conference. The day after the Rams playoff list, he said, we have to rebuild the middle of our offensive line. They knew it. They did. Part of it, they may have thought Darnold will revert back to, he can't play well in the clutch. Well, okay. And I get this one too. After Darnold lays an egg next week and your Trump will be put back in your closet again. Alto. He could lay an egg. Could very well. All I know, he's in the NFC Championship. Again, is a bit all Darnold. I have a couple of those text messages that have come in that say if his defense wasn't so good and he didn't have this. Well, yeah, well, that's what you can't hold that against him.
I will say that I don't know what it is about people that we pigeonhole other people and assume that they can't ever evolve.
Right.
Right. Like people have never wanted to believe in Sam Darnold because he struggled early in his career. Some of those struggles might have been on him. Some of those struggles might have been on the places he was at. He's had 2 good years in a row now. Last year, he had 2 well, you can probably go back to the Jacksonville game too, but let's just talk about the last 2 games. Not good performances. One, I don't think any quarterback would have succeeded in that spot. But because of those 2, now we have people that just go, well, he can't ever be good. He'll always choke.
Yeah.
Well, he did all right the other day because they put up 40-some points, and I get it. Their defense was unbelievable. But people can evolve. People can learn from mistakes and go, I didn't have the right mindset last year. I'm going to work on that, and now I'm going to be better in this spot.
Yeah. And that's a very good point. And I'll go back to the point that I've made on numerous occasions, too, is that it's hard to find the perfect quarterback that's never going to make a mistake and never going to turn the ball over and lose games. Sometimes that happens. Guys have bad games. Now, yesterday's conditions were really bad. Matt Stafford wasn't brilliant yesterday. He was under 50% completions, and so was Caleb. A lot of that has to do with weather conditions, but not every. It's not going to be perfect every single time. Even
ask C.J. Stroud.
Yeah, ask C.J. Stroud. Well, hasn't the May character turned the ball over as well? Doesn't he have a few turnover
they're
issues?
playing elite defenses.
Yeah, but
you're in the playoffs.
Right, exactly. So things are going to happen. I guess people expect perfect performances every time. They expect a 152 quarterback rating, and that's the guy I want. I would want him too, but it doesn't work that way. You just have to face it. It doesn't mean that it's the end of the Vikings franchise as we know it. They made a mistake. They should have signed Darnold for $105 million or whatever it was. They should have done that. Or they should have signed Rodgers.
It would have been a steal.
Yeah, they made a mistake. It's okay. It doesn't mean the coach should be fired, the GM should be fired, that the team should be uprooted and moved out of town, or that they can't, and they still might have the quarterback that can do it. They might. He's shown promise. But
if he's brilliant next year, then he'll change the narrative of, hey, it was a mistake.
Yes. I just, here's someone.
And frankly, not putting J.J. McCarthy on Caleb Williams' level, because Caleb was a much higher rated prospect and showed moments last year. But Caleb Williams wasn't very good last year. And so to see a guy progress from year 1 to year 2, now I get this is year 2 to 3 for JJ, but that should give you a little bit of optimism that it's, let's not completely shut the door on JJ McCarthy.
Well, and here's one that says JJ McCarthy can't evolve. Well, no, we said he could. I've said over and over and over. We both have said I just said he might end up being somewhere between Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. We don't know. He showed moments. But I'll go back when you're coming off of what was our regular season record last year? Was it 13-4, 14-3?
14-3.
14-3.
Wasn't it? Or were we 13?
I think it was 14-3.
The Lions 14-3.
Well, no, they ended up being 15-2.
Okay, we were 14-3 because it came down to that game.
It came down to that game. And
we were 13-4 2 years before last year. Yeah.
And so, I mean, won a lot of games. Kid played well. I don't know, and I think it's possible McCarthy can still develop into a really good quarterback. I do. I do think it's possible. But you do have here.
Possible is not the same as likely.
Yes,
though.
That's it.
Or it's not the same as probable.
Here's the other issue that you have to take into the equation too. You have a general manager and a coach who are linked to that guy. We don't know what ownership really feels like. I mean, McDermott got 9 years, right? They've decided
made the playoffs in 8 of them.
Yeah, it made playoffs in 8 of them, and he's gone. We're 0-2 in the playoffs under O'Connell and Okwesi, and are they 2 years? This was his 4th year, right? So 2 years they made the playoffs, 2 years they didn't, and they lost both playoff games. So. And they made decisions to go with the young kid and use that money to, look at what happened. Sent out this last night on a tweet. Hold on. I have it here. Hold on. Oh yeah, Joe Buck was saying during the Patriots game, the Patriots really hit on their draft picks in the free agent spending spree. Just the opposite of what the Vikings have done. They've not hit on their draft picks, and they did not hit on their spending spree. When you hit on your draft picks and you hit on your spending spree, guess what? You're in the AFC Championship game.
Yeah.
When you don't qualify for the playoffs. You got that 5-game winning streak to hang your hat on, though, to end the season. That's nice.
They also hired the right head coach, too.
And they hired that right head coach, too. And New England wasn't any better off than the Vikings were when Vrabel took over, when O'Connell took over. Not any better in any way, shape, or form. Matter of fact, you could even say New England might have even been worse off.
Oh, they were. They were worse.
Yeah, they were worse off. So, yeah, it's... And then you have the teams like we talked about Houston. If you got C.J. Stroud, what do? He's due. Isn't he about to become a free agent?
I'm not sure. What is he doing? Is he in the 5th-year option spot? Is that where he is?
Maybe this is the 5th-year option spot. Do you pay him $55 million a year? What you saw? His rookie year, he was really good, right? Everybody thought this kid's got everything. The last 2 years have been yesterday. You think Darnold has troubles? Did you see Stroud yesterday? This kid's throwing up balls that are just like, dude, what are you doing? You can't throw passes like that. I think he had 4 picks in the first half, and because their defense is so good, they were still in that ball game. But, the Stroud kid, that's why the Darnold thing's still.
So Stroud has played 3 years. Coming up year 4, he was a high first-round draft pick, so this will be the year you have to pick up the option, which, you have to, given how cheap he is right now.
You almost have to, yeah. But then from what you saw, the first year, his rookie year, he was pretty good, right? He would look really promising. You went, this kid's got a chance to be really good. The last 2 years have not been very good at all.
And he had moments in that game early on yesterday, like, oh man, he's making some good plays. Yeah. The decision making is absolutely reckless.
Yeah.
When you have a defense as good as Houston's, and you're in those conditions, like, just take care of the football, and your defense is going to give you a chance to win.
That's exactly right.
And some of the throws he was attempting, what are you doing?
Yeah. And then the Knicks kid.
Like, he was trying to play hero ball. It's like, you don't need to be a hero on this team.
And then how about the Knicks kid? Did I hear that right? That's his third broken ankle he's had? Third. I don't know if it's the same ankle. Peyton jokingly, he had to come back to the podium. Knicks play. They finish the game. They win the game. Knicks does the on the field interview. Doesn't mention any. He limped a little bit. Didn't mention anything about being hurt. Peyton does his end of the game news conference. He leaves. They're waiting for Knicks to come back. The media. They're waiting for Knicks for his turn to talk to me because they always do that. They always do coach quarterback. Next thing you know, Sean Payton comes back and says he's got a broken ankle, out for the year. Had to have surgery in Tuscaloosa or somewhere on Tuesday, Monday or Tuesday. And then that's his third broken ankle. And then Sean Payton, trying to make, I guess, take the edge off the bad news, said, if I'd have known that, I never would have drafted you. Because apparently, so again, now what is I don't know. Can we expect another? I mean, I don't think broken ankles are like contagious, are they? It's not like you can't have one and have another. But there's another kid. Bright future, gets his team to
maybe he didn't drink enough milk as a kid.
Maybe that's it, or Wonder Bread. And he looks like a guy. And again, we could have had him. He was sitting there. There was McCarthy and Knicks left, but now is Knicks brittle? Because that's the other thing you worry about. Like McCarthy. McCarthy's had 4 injuries and. What's that stat they keep throwing up? He's played 9 games and a possible 34, whatever it is. Knicks was more durable, but now he has a broken ankle. Then you got Matty Ice. Did you see it? Matty Ice and McVay. Apparently, if you read the stories, it's like after they got the ball back on the interception, they just kind of looked at each other and they kind of just smiled, locked eyes, because
they knew
this what they played for. That's the beauty of having a guy like Stafford. He doesn't play now for anything but just trying to get back to the big game. He's not playing for his career. He's probably playing for a little legacy, but it's not like, God, am I going to keep my job? Especially when you got one in your back pocket. He's already got one big game in his back pocket. That's going to they're going to.
He's not going to buckle in those circumstances.
No, they're going to be really hard to beat.
Yep.
That should be. It has all the makings. We never know, but that has the makings to be just terrific football. Again, rubber match between the two clubs at Lumen Stadium. And the advantage that Seattle has is almost, the home field advantage is almost unfair because if it's a cloudy day, you think Stiddy can pull it off with Denver? I mean, they're going to put together a game plan that they're going to try to run the ball a lot, I think, and they're going to try to move Stiddy around, right?
But, if you watch Broncos games, Bo Nix is a fine quarterback. I'm not trying to take anything away from him. He's a quality quarterback, but he's never really asked to have to carry the load. Like he has an elite offensive line in front of him. He's got a great play caller and a great defense. So he does a great job of staying within the offense that Sean Payton is providing him. And I know he's had a bunch of comeback victories and stuff like that in the fourth quarter, but it doesn't seem like he's has to do everything on his own. It's just if you just play within the offense, they're going to be in the game because their defense is really, really good. Their offensive line is really good. And it doesn't have to be all on Stidham.
You're right.
He's just going to be playing. He's going to be just dumping the ball off all day long. Just doesn't 5-yard passes out in the flat.
And just like it doesn't have to be all on Darnold. That's the comeback people will have. Well, Sam turned it over 20 times and he's got a great defense, a great running game. Well, yeah, but still if you watch the games, he still makes a lot of big throws. He makes mistakes too. You just got to cover your eyes sometimes because I'll say it again, Pat Mahomes isn't available.
Even Darnold, there's no question he has a lot of help. You have to win that many games. It's 2 years in a row now he's won 14 plus games with 2 different teams. And you look up at the other names that have done that in the history of their career, they're Hall of Fame type names. That ain't easy to do. So you have to give them some credit. You don't have to give them all the credit. You got to give them some credit.
Yeah. When I think I saw one of those tweets. Hold on. This one that says, here it is right here. Let me see if it pops up. Sam Darnold is the first quarterback since Tom Brady to start in a playoff game in consecutive seasons with different teams. Now, could it have been somebody else? If Seattle didn't sign Darnold, could they have signed
Aaron Rodgers?
Aaron Rodgers, or another quarterback that was in the playoffs the year before and changed? Could that have happened? Yeah, it could have, but that's not what happened. This one says, and I should have figured this one was coming. Would the narrative change if the Vikings special teams didn't give up a 50-yard kick return in the Bears game, because then they would have won their division?
They would not.
And could be in the championship game.
They would not have.
We don't know if they would. Green Bay would not have rested all their players in the final week of the season. Green Bay rested every player in the final week of the season. Minnesota won the game. Almost shut them out. Green Bay trotted out the field goal kicker so they wouldn't have the shutout.
And every team can do if this hadn't happened. If Baltimore's kicker doesn't miss a field goal at the end of the season, they're in the playoffs. Maybe they're playing the New England Patriots this weekend to go to the big game. Yeah. But they didn't.
Yeah.
And make the play.
Yeah. And guess what? If the Bears don't collapse in the fourth quarter of the opening season run, right, in that opening game,
yeah,
well, then the Vikings aren't there. You could play that. Every team in the league, pretty much every, not except the teams that went 2-15, if we have one of those. Other than those teams, the teams that just missed, I'm sure they look back and go, man, if this had happened or that had happened. If the Bears would have gone for a 2-point conversion last time, they'd be in the NFC Championship game right now. Okay. Well, they didn't go for it. And we still don't know if they would have happened.
And the really good teams put themselves in a position where that if play doesn't matter.
Yeah.
If the Vikings were a really good team and they were a playoff level team, then that return against Chicago doesn't matter because they would have done other things in that game to put themselves in a position to win.
Yep. So yeah, you can play that game all you want. And again, I would still assume there's plenty of Sam Darnold's going to feel plenty of pressure, I think, because again, still, even though he got that, right, I can play well in a playoff game. He did. He's done it. He played pretty well against San Francisco, right? Got to do it again now. And, a guy like Stafford, I think, is going to be, he'll have butterflies, but he'll be much more comfortable with where he's been, where he's going, where he's at, right? So there'll be more pressure. It'll be a tough game. I would think Seattle, because their defense is so good, and I think home field does make a difference. Not all the difference in the world. Plenty of visiting teams have won games in the playoffs before, but I would. And then maybe Stiddy will be the next Nick Foles.
Could be,
right? You never do know.
They don't have any tape on him.
Here's
And by the way, Darnold, while he does have his flaws, that touchdown pass he threw to Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Yeah.
That's a big time throw.
Yeah, he's a really good quarterback, and I don't want to put everybody in the same boat, but I think for a lot of Viking fans, they don't want to. We
don't want to acknowledge that we made a mistake.
Yeah, they just look at it and go,
that our guys aren't the smartest.
Yeah, they don't want. They're actually rooting against Darnold so they can go, well, see, maybe we did make a mistake going after letting Sam Darnold go.
We can't acknowledge that maybe the quarterback or whisperer made a mistake with the quarterback.
Correct. This one says, Dan, JJ also has a right to make mistakes and get better. Got to apply the same logic. He's 23. I didn't say
Are people listening?
They're not listening. I just say, every team is looking for a franchise quarterback. One is dropped into your lap, Sam Darnold. And if the head coach wants to take all the credit as quarterback whisperer, that's what's funny about this, is all the Viking fans were heaping praise upon quarterback whisperer. Look what O'Connell can do with quarterbacks. Doesn't matter who we have. That's why you were comfortable letting Darnold go, because you thought that would happen with McCarthy right away, and it still could. But the team was built to win now. You know it, I know it, they know it, everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. It's okay. It's not the first team to make a personnel to make the wrong decision on personnel. There was another one. that said, I wish I could find. There's so many that have come in. Someone just said he wasn't trying to put me in and he wasn't trying to troll me. He said, but what did I think about Keenum? If they should have kept Keenum or should have went with Cousins. I don't remember what I said. I could make an argument for either. I was never a huge Cousins guy. You and I talked about when we signed him. Yeah, he's good, but I don't know how good he can be. Keenum was a whole heck of a lot cheaper.
My answer, they should have drafted Lamar Jackson first round that year.
We'll pause. We'll come back. A little 5-3-4-10. What we got on the other side of the break.
Yeah, what category hurricane will we see tonight?